Hello, how are you today? I hope that you're doing well. Have you ever heard of the concept of compartmentalization? Sigmund Freud says that compartmentalization is a strategy used to avoid feeling anxious or distressed. The Cambridge Dictionary defines compartmentalization as the aspect of separating something into parts and not allowing those parts to mix together. Taking these definitions into consideration, we see that when we compartmentalize things, we are making them separate from the whole of who we are. This, in my opinion, is the opposite of wholeness. It reminds me of the scene from the animation Inside Out, where Bing Bong is fragmented and distorted because he's entered a new dimension. Life had taught me that it was easier, perhaps even safer, if certain parts didn't mix. For example, I would show up one way at work, another way for my family, and yet another way for my friends. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? If you know, you know. Masking is another way to describe this transforming phenomenon. Charlie Heath defines masking as a coping mechanism used to conceal a person's true thoughts and emotions. Notice the language used to define these terms: defense mechanism and coping strategies. Such language implies avoidance. Science directly describes avoidance behaviors as those that protect from harm and are central for a person's survival and development. In the book Wounded Healer, the author talks about how, currently, people feel fragmented to the point of feeling paralyzed. So, why am I offering all of this information, and what does it have to do with self-care and how Jesus sees me? First of all, and most importantly, Jesus never intended for you to feel fragmented. When he healed the man at the tombs, that one man, bodily speaking, identified himself as many. You don't think that man felt fragmented? But what did Jesus do for that man? He delivered him so that those fragmented parts left that man. And the scripture goes on to say that after his encounter with Jesus, that man was sitting clothed in his right mind. This scriptural example shows us why it is so imperative for us to be authentic to who God created us to be. Because if we aren't being authentic to who God called us to be, then we are just a hot mess. So, what does self-care look like in this instance? It looks like purposely seeking God to find out who He created you to be. Sit down and have a conversation with Him. He's looking forward to talking to you. Be blessed.